Very good topspin serve. Ovtcharov half long to the forehand side.
It's an underrated serve of his. Everyone goes on about his fancy backhand serve and the forehand serve from the other side.
That's absolutely right, Gavin. He's got a few that are very unique. The forehand tomahawk serve is one that if you haven't seen before, it takes about 3 shots into the net before you realize how heavy the underspin is. But most players have seen him as he's very famous in the world right now. Beautiful soft touch, just sort of swooping, slicing it out wide to the forehand from Mizutani. Not a greedy shot. You can see him misleading. The head goes one way, the hand goes the other. Very strong start for Mizutani. He's playing a smart game right now. He's not going all out power. He's going for placement, touch, and definitely the element of surprise. Here it is.
I was just going to say that a lot of players, they don't like to flick out against the Ovtcharov serve because they don't see the side spin and topspin. Very difficult to flick blind. Mizutani obviously played against him quite a few times though.
Let 1-4.
European players on the circuit here against Dimitrij, standing almost 6 feet, crushing ball after ball, finally prevailing. The crowd loves points like these. They're great to watch. And even a counter loop from the forehand side, just amazing for Mizutani, but he still loses the point. That serve, he leaves it out wide. Great patience from Ovtcharov, but even from below the table, Mizutani's counting on Ovtcharov not getting a very aggressive opening shot. And we've got a question here from our Twitter feed. It comes from Romy Concha S. What did T-Mobile change after the first game to win? Well, we'll think on that for a sec. Tries to play the ball to the short corner, catches it a little bit late. The ball kept low by Ovtcharov. Gavin, thoughts on the T-Mobile change?
I think eventually, set 2, 3, 4, he started to change the direction on his second and third balls. He wasn't going so much onto the wings, and that's crucial when you're playing at this level, not to play right into the backhand and the forehand corners. So I think that's a little answer there.
And also after the first game, we saw his service receive. Lots of flips right to the middle, great placement and touch. Mizutani testing the floor on that one. You could hear him skidding and screeching, really having to cover that ball wide. Right there, it looked like a little bit of an unnecessary slip. He never quite got his footing back after that point of the rally. Ovtcharov closing in. Mizutani up 6-5. Great point. Mizutani picked the ball to bend it out wide to the forehand. Saw the open backhand, but thought it'd be clever to hit it back to the forehand. Ovtcharov not fooled by it. A little bit of help from the top of the net.
And if there's any area in Mizutani's game he has improved, it is this little loop fade he's playing out to the wide forehand. He's done that well the last couple of matches I've seen earlier on in the week. I think he needs to keep continuing to pepper that wide forehand of Ovtcharov.
Beautiful forehand wide cross court, just as you were talking about, Gavin. Excellent placement. Serve drifted a little long, and Mizutani does not hesitate to pick a place and just rip it there. Very unusual shot, that's right. Dimitrij Ovtcharov standing up and leaning back to lift that ball way out of his comfort zone. It was almost like his feet were stuck because of the pace of that push. Very strong spinning opening backhand for Mizutani, but Ovtcharov steps in and really puts the pace on it. Still trailing by one, Mizutani with the serve.
Get a bonus at this stage. You could steal 2 against the serve.
Excellent job of keeping that arcing ball very low. He caught it from below the table, and it's easy to fall into the trap of spinning it up too high. He did a great job of keeping it low, and Ovtcharov did not have a good opportunity to come in and counterattack. Great angle play. Ovtcharov needs to get that ball right off the bounce before Mizutani recovers. First ball, outstanding. And right off the bounce, perfect touch by Mizutani, leaving it short to the forehand of Ovtcharov. He's looking at winning the first game as the underdog right now. He's got 2 serves to take this game.
See already, tactically, Mizutani touching short forehand, spinning and driving out to the wide forehand of Ovtcharov. That's exactly what you need to do, but you've got to continue it now.
Excellent shot. Inside out, it's the forehand, wide to the forehand that you've been talking about, Gavin, and Mizutani has found an outstanding rhythm to take the first game. 11-8, he's up 1-0, Japan versus Germany. Dimitrij Ovtcharov of Germany and Jun Mizutani back at the table to start game 2. Mizutani's going to start. Keep the questions coming on Twitter. We got some exciting questions we're going to get to a little bit throughout this match. Soft touch at first. Little change of pace from Ovtcharov into the backhand. And Mizutani steps around. Big forehand, very whip-like elbow. I love it. Strong backhand off the ball there, deep to the backhand corner. Ovtcharov putting Mizutani out wide. And there was that serve again, Gavin. He gets down low, and this time it looked like he put underspin on the ball rather than top. Very similar motion to the top spin. Big forehand. We haven't seen the explosive power of Ovtcharov coming into play that much yet in this match. Mizutani's been doing a great job of controlling the points, keeping the short play down, and initiating the attack himself.
That's the first time that Ovtcharov's actually read that Mizutani's going to go out there. Just went a little bit further away from the table to absorb that first ball, give himself a little bit more time.
Big point. Players are going to towel off. Take a quick question from the internet. Nathan_Samuel22 asks, is the absence of bomb an advantage or disadvantage to Germany because Franziska gets experience? Good question. I think for Germany, they want to play the best team they can short term for sure. So while Franziska's going to get some good experience, and in the long run, he will grow. That has to happen at some point. You definitely want to play the best team you can at all times. Bomb on injury, and Steiger on injury as well.
And we don't want to be too critical, obviously, about the German players, but I would believe that a guy like Patrick Baum has stagnated a little bit the last 24 months or so. He's not pushed forward in the world rankings into the top 20, so that's probably why he's not here as well.
Let 3-5.
Just long. Mizutani loading that ball up with spin again. We've seen Ovtcharov come in with aggressive attacks on very spinny balls. For the past 2 years, he's been dominating shots like that. But Mizutani's bringing a whole different level of spin and changing the pace beautifully, making it very difficult for Ovtcharov to be in the attack. And that point, Ovtcharov really got his attack in from both sides. That's what he's got to do. He's got to find a way to get the opening ball. If it's half-long serves, if it's something fast, if it's a deceptive serve, these are all things he can do right now. Checking the lighting, it looks like. Amazing effort from Jun Mizutani after counter-attacking. Fish after fish, lob after lob, deep to the baseline. You saw him counter-attack it, and that inside-out ball, almost 2 in a row from the inside-out forehand. Very difficult shots. They're kicking so much topspin, jumping away from the net. Even with the strength and height of Ovtcharov, you cannot finish a point there.
Sometimes after a really long point before, you can win a point further down the line. Ovtcharov possibly breathing just a little bit heavier than he had been because of that longer point in the previous one.
And the funny thing is, they're all worth the same, so no matter how much effort you put in, it's a risk you're going to have to be willing to take. Mizutani trailing by 2. Crowd applauding his short comeback streak. That is the widest step around we've seen from Ovtcharov yet, moving all the way out to the forehand side to get his opening backhand. He has excellent power, but the serve kept nice and tight by Mizutani. It's a difficult shot. It's bending away, but it's a little bit soft the way he brushes down on that. Even if it makes it, we've seen Ovtcharov recover and get to that ball for a big loop.
If it's blow for blow, it's going to be Ovtcharov that's going to win this one.
Excellent opening backhand by Mizutani. He's now just trailing by one. Ovtcharov up 8-7 with one more serve. Coming back in, everything shy of a chop, and a 20-foot elephant. That point had it all. And I don't mean that in the table tennis shot term, Gavin. It is a comeback. Jun Mizutani has tied it up at 8 apiece.
Timeout.
And a timeout is called. Ovtcharov going back to his corner. A lot of excitement. We even got some fun information just shown to us from the crowd. Someone sent in a picture. They said, doesn't the coach of the German team, being Jörg Rostov, the legend table tennis player, look like Ted Danson? And they sent us a nice picture of someone. I couldn't tell if it was Ted Danson or Jörg Rostov, but it was definitely one of them. Really important right now. Ovtcharov is trailing, could go down 0-2 if he lets this game go. Beautiful job of Mizutani to claim his real estate back at the table. Coming back in, it's really easy to get pushed off. Both players fighting to stay close whenever they can. What do you think they were talking about strategy-wise, Gavin?
I'm sure both players looking again to start the ball into the middle and into the wide forehand. It's simple tactics, but you have to employ them well. Keep a fresh mind.
8-0.
Mizutani in service.
What a shot, unbelievable, the wide forehand up over the table. It looks like he's coming into the body or even the backhand. Drags the ball, look at that head fake again. Kobe Bryant out there. Amazing improvisation. Jun Mizutani's won the last 3 points in a row and is edging toward taking this game for a second one.
9.
Powerful close to the table attacks, opening with the backhand over the table, and you can hear the grunts of Ovtcharov. That's a lot of effort. The forehands are getting stronger and stronger, but neither player willing to budge.
Just going for the normal pendulum service again.
Looked like topspin to me. Very tough ball to get right off the bounce. The way he handled it was like it was underspin. He got under it, lifted it, managed to keep it just short enough. Brilliant read. And now Jun Mizutani, back from the grave, has a game point to go up 2-0. Very high-risk shot, running way out wide to the forehand side for the opening backhand. Still a good receive, maybe not good enough to justify all that traveling. And now Mizutani with the serve at deuce in game 2.
Let 10-0.
Very, very tight serve. Top of the net, edge of the table. You could hear the crowd, ooh, everybody. Applause of encouragement. Gambare. Powerful wide shot, exploiting the length of the table, really stepping around and getting low to load that with spin and speed, and Ovtcharov has a game point of his own. The traditional pendulum serve, very effective, Gavin, as you called. wide to the forehand. Not as wide as the one before, but just enough. Great pace. You can see Ovtcharov having to back up off the table, was not expecting the ball there, nice and low. Caught the edge of the blade. And Mizutani fighting off a game point. It's now 11-all in game 2. Making sure the ball's nice and dry.
That 11 all.
The pressure of these serves. Beautiful shot to the short corner, running around. That takes a whole lot of core strength to turn on that ball. Look at that rip. You can see his waist turning. One more time, the upper body just completely twisting as he pulls the edge of the paddle just around the ball to keep it nice, close, and hooking away. And now it's a game point for Mizutani. Interesting hesitation there. It almost looked like a glitch in the video, but that was just Mizutani. I think he changed his mind, thought the serve was a little longer than it was, and realized he could still attack the ball. Ovtcharov has done his job if he can make his opponent guess on the receive like that and second guess himself.
Both players have been clear in their minds so far. Nothing to separate the players. So it gets interesting at the end of the second set.
Looked like a good opportunity. Mizutani saw the open forehand as Ovtcharov stepped around, but the short side of the table was too short for Mizutani on that ball. Now Ovtcharov has the game point. Unbelievable points. Mizutani barely getting the ball. The point looked like it was over at 2 points in the middle of that rally. Look at that counter wide to the forehand. Amazing shot by Ovtcharov right down the line, and he runs around chasing it for another forehand. Mizutani saved that game with that wide forehand down the line, bringing it right back to the backhand corner as wide as could be. Amazing Hail Mary shot. Little bit off the top of the net. Ovtcharov apologizes, acknowledges a bit of fortune, and has again a game point. The last serve we saw him do looked like there was not much spin on it, sort of a floater. A little bit dead, middle of the table. Well handled by Mizutani, but he still ended up on defense.
Who has the looser hand?
As far as looseness goes, that's as loose as they come. He touched it for a second bounce on the table. Ovtcharov jamming his paddle into the back end. What a receive by Mizutani. Again, he finds himself at deuce, 14-all. The long serve deep on the table with underspin. Very effective, looked a little bit high, but it was long enough and the bounce was deep. Look at that, right to the white of the table. A serve that worked very well for Koki Niwa late against Timo Boll. And now Mizutani has game point after a brilliant, risky serve. Powerful forehand, the block to the middle of the table, just long. 15-all.
Still believe when you have a set point, though, you don't want to be blocking. You want to try and bury the serve short. Go short, short, win with a little spin up into the middle. That's what both players should be trying to do.
Very clever strategy there. A lot of people looking for the attack however they can. If you can keep it short, you saw what happened last time Ovtcharov had to come running into the table for the two bouncer. Beautiful receive from over the table. A little bit of intention in the eyes there. Ovtcharov really staring down Mizutani as he screams his chole. Mizutani not phased. This stage of the game, psychology very important. Both players staying cool and in their head. And if they're hot, at least their head's cool. off the long serve. Mizutani with the wrist. Comes right back fast, and he's ready to do it again. Not an easy ball. 16 all.
You're starting to see both players coming out of their comfort zone, attacking a little bit more, taking a few more risks. Huge set.
How many lead serves has Mizutani had since the deuce game has started? It's the third one I recall. Heavy spin, a little bit higher but deep on the table, and Mizutani is left with a whole lot of rotation to stay on top of. Game point 17-16 for Dimitrij Ovtcharov. And Ovtcharov takes the game at 18-16 to tie it up at one game apiece. Game 3 coming right up. As the players come back to the table, we got an interesting question here. This is from DER, _Bolzer. Adam, which is the most effective serve from Dima? The pendulum, backhand, or tomahawk? Those three. Well, so far, I guess it depends how much experience the opponent has. But right now, the tomahawk serve, even though it's incredibly heavy underspin, we haven't seen it once yet, and I think that's for a good reason. I'm going to say the traditional pendulum serve is the most effective one he's got going for him right now. What an amazing backhand swat from off the table, way up in the air. You can see Ovtcharov retrieving, jumping. Here it is, jumping backhand in the air when he hits it, the counter just sailing long. Outstanding first point for Mizutani to break the serve. Beautiful placement, a little bit inside, out to the forehand side of the table. The shorter shot, Ovtcharov changing it up, smart play. We still haven't seen the tomahawk serve once yet. Little fun fact sent to us by Matt Solt. One of the greatest inventions of 2008, according to Time Magazine, 50 Best Inventions. Number 36 was Dimitrij Ovtcharov's backhand serve. Thank you, Dimitrij Ovtcharov, for the exposure of table tennis in Time Magazine. Breaking the serve, now up 2-1. Dimitrij Ovtcharov is receiving again from Jun Mizutani. Catches the edge of the table. You can hear the crowd gasp and immediately cheer as the fortune falls to their team's player. Love these super slow-mo shots. Just really a great chance for you to see how fast the ball is spinning. Too close to the net, too high. Not a lot you can do when you're running all the way back to cover that backhand. The placement here, wide to the forehand, deep to the backhand, comes into the net. Outstanding play and awareness by Mizutani. Speaking of awareness, Mizutani is reading these serves like a book. It is unbelievable. I can't tell what Ovtcharov is putting on it. Fortunately for Mizutani, he can. those were deep to the baseline, and the last one, so short it hit the net. And once again, the read of that serve, backhand off a fast serve right away with a strong attack.
I thought that was a good idea from Mizutani, though, to try and come in, take 2 or 3 steps closer to the table. Something he might need to do in the later stages of this match. Don't want to just be back way at the barriers. Give your opponent too much time back there.
Mizutani staying right at the table on top of the bounce. So far, most points from far away from the table he's lost, and that's the same for both players. They need to stay close. A little bit of fortune again, Ovtcharov apologizing, but an outstanding rally. Counter loops to both corners, backhands and forehands. A little bit off the top of the net there. You could hear the grunting back and forth. Ovtcharov serving, it's even up 1 game apiece, 4 points apiece. Very, very aggressive. A bit of a flat hit, and it looks like there was a little more underspin on that as Ovtcharov let the hand drop, just passing under the ball ever so slightly. Say that he got away with that last shot, left it a little high and close to the net. Ovtcharov is not usually going to miss that, but still outstanding play to make it that far into the point.
And to stay that relaxed when the ball is really getting pummeled at you, difficult.
Both of these players, yes, beautiful skills and a lot of mental preparation to be playing in front of such a crowd and stay cool.
5, 6.
The first ball was very spinny, but Ovtcharov read it just perfectly, countered it. Seen a lot of apologies. Ovtcharov maybe just being a very polite player for even the most subtle of nets or mishits, apologizing for every one. Mizutani now trailing by 1. Super spinny backhand from Ovtcharov. It's really amazing that in some of these points, when Mizutani keeps it deep on the table, how much he's able to slow down the shots from Ovtcharov. You really haven't seen all the power until a shot like this. Look how close that is, parallel to the table. Really a lot of wrist action. The strength of these players' wrists is just incredible. Patient receive, very clever shot, spinning it up out wide to the forehand. Mizutani with excellent confidence. Looks so comfortable on that receive.
Can be quite difficult as well when someone serves off the side of the table to go down the line. Naturally, you do spin cross.
Right idea, a lot of spin on it, and just not staying on top of the ball enough. He saw the opening. Mizutani now with the serve at 6-8. That long underspin serve wide to the forehand we haven't seen in a long time. And instead it's long into the backhand with underspin. Ovtcharov getting nice lift and spin on the first 2 balls.
It just feels the last few points it's been a bit more of power, 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 and that plays into Ovtcharov's hands.
Unfortunate service error. And now it's 4 game points for Ovtcharov to take this 2-1. And Ovtcharov finishes it up with great power play. He's now up 2-1 versus Jun Mizutani from Japan. Game 4 coming up shortly.
fourth game, Japan to serve. Love all.
Dimitrij Ovtcharov back at the table for game 4 versus Jun Mizutani. He's going to be receiving the serve. Ovtcharov leading 2-1 in games. Little extra side spin on that last loop. Mizutani not accounting for that.
You see on the camera, he just balloons in a ball there. That's it, changing the pace, changing the spin.
Heavy underspin to the short backhand side, and Ovtcharov not being able to read how much backspin there is. Look at this contact. Completely flat blade. Amazing spin. And a great read by Mizutani, hooking around that ball as it comes off the table just a little long. We've seen players floating the serves long. In tight situations, that tends to happen. People not able to stay loose, is in control, get a little nervous. Could be the conditions in the playing hall, though they've been playing all week long, so they have a lot of experience out here. You can hear the big grunt there from Ovtcharov, putting the extra energy into that shot deep into the table. Mizutani not able to bring it back. It's tied up at 2-all. It's 2 service errors and recent serves for Mizutani.
Important that you keep going for your serves, though.
Outstanding step around shot wide cross court into the forehand of Mizutani. And as they go to their towel break, I'm going to take a question here. Nathan from the beautiful country of Indonesia says, what went wrong for Ovtcharov? Game 1, well, Mizutani was just doing a great job of really shutting down the attacks, not allowing any predictability. So we didn't see the big backhands and the big forehands really playing into the point. Mizutani doing great control right now. Again, clever play, change of pace, soft touch.
In the last set and a half, it's been a much more physical game, which will play into Ovtcharov's hands.
Beautiful receive, and then from the backhand side of the table down low, Mizutani able to spin the ball very heavily and keep it nice and low to the net, and that's been giving Ovtcharov trouble ever since the start of this match. Extra side spin, catching the inside of the ball. If you're going to go to the forehand court, smashing lobs, you better make sure it's out of reach. And that extra bit of side spin did just that for Mizutani. See here, Ovtcharov trying to break just to reach it, and he gets it. But the side spin makes the ball drift off wide. And a reverse pendulum from Mizutani from the middle of the table. We have not seen that yet. And a nice backhand from near the ground, squatting to get up and into that ball, lift the backspin over the net. Ovtcharov covering great backhand effort and shot from Mizutani, taking both of his serves. Now Ovtcharov is down 4-6. Clever receive, just sort of a flat hit, kept the blade nice and open.
That was nice. I thought there was a little bit of trickery in the service as well. As Ovtcharov made contact with the ball, he did jump his hand in the air. Mizutani not falling for that, though.
Ovtcharov very good with the after motion. There it is again, that little turn right after the contact that you see a lot. Makes it very difficult to read the point of contact and the spin on the ball. But Mizutani, as you said, been around the block. He's seen it before and he knows what's on it. Now a 4-point lead. Still trailing in games. The crowd is really wanting to see a game 5 here so Japan can tie up the series at 1 apiece. It's the reverse pendulum again. It worked last time. Nice adjustment by Ovtcharov. You can see him sweating out there. Lots of brain work going on. Physical and mental, both exhausting. Very aggressive counter loop attempt from the backhand. Ovtcharov trying to get right back in the point. He remembers last time he was on defense, it did not work out for him. That shot lands, it's a very tough ball. Japanese bench on their feet. Big point for Mizutani. Little bit too passive play. Clever to change the pace every once in a while when you realize the player's back from the table, but 2 shots in a row, Ovtcharov light on his feet, ready to just exploit that soft ball.
Extraordinary though, Ovtcharov can generate so much power from a dead ball.
Excellent rally, Mizutani countering, forehand, backhand, running to the corner. Ovtcharov trying to play to the short side of the table, high risk but no reward, and it is 4 game points for Jun Mizutani, up 10-6 in the 4th. Again, a let service in a tight situation.
He's doing the right thing though. Go for the serves, be aggressive.
What a serve, leaving it off the side of the table and nothing good for Ovtcharov to do. Even if he spins that ball up, Mizutani is there and ready. It's a convincing 11-6 win, and we are going to see an exciting Game 5 of this match.
And last game.
And we're back for Game 5. Jun Mizutani of Japan, world rank number 10 versus Dimitrij Ovtcharov, world rank number 4, playing for Germany. This is the 5th and deciding game in this match, and Ovtcharov will start off with the serve. Ovtcharov excited to get away with that point after a great receive from Mizutani. Nice and short to the middle. Ball looked a little bit high, some loaded spin there, not accounted for by Mizutani. He's now down 0-2, but he has both of these serves to even things up. Heavy underspin to the forehand corner, and it's interesting to see Ovtcharov not waiting for the ball to come up and spin it with his forehand, but running around for the backhand receive.
Most players would be isolated from that area of the table, but Ovtcharov specializes in coming round there.
And the inside-out forehand drifting, floating just a little bit. Ovtcharov not able to read the spin on the ball. He gets there. Ball's got a little height on it, but still so much side spin. Tough to know what to do. And everything on the board is 2 right now. Games, points, 2 apiece for all. And And that's something you sacrifice when you fall to the ground for a shot. Amazing rally. The wide forehand here he gets on top of, jams Ovtcharov with a nice play right to the middle. But Jun Mizutani had too much to recover from after going to the ground. Perfect length. Looked like it was going to come long last second. Mizutani realized it might not and had to play the defensive shot. Even if he makes that shot, very tough to keep short from the baseline of the table. That's what they practice day in and day out. That's pretty much what service practice is hitting that place on the table.
That's it, you're serving into areas. How can you deal with that? That's what Ovtcharov was thinking there.
Interesting strategy. Mizutani steps into the middle a little bit more, fighting the first attack. Opening backhand, stays on top of it. Ovtcharov squatting to the ground himself, trying to get the inside-out forehand. Catches the edge of the paddle. Mizutani trailing by one. One more serve to tie it up. Mizutani to pump the crowd up. He's giving hope to everybody. Look at this big forehand. Nice backhand from off the table. Little help there from the top of the net. Great recovery. Mizutani deep on the table with that defensive shot and attacking it as soon as he can to keep the pressure on, and the pressure is too much. It is now tied up at 4 apiece. We have not reached the halfway mark in game 5.
Certainly no concrete hands out there at the moment.
Great serve by Ovtcharov. Mizutani has kept that ball short on the table many times, and the timeout has been called. No timeout called, just some music playing for fun as the players switch side of the table. Ovtcharov up 5-4 after an excellent short serve. Thanks for all the questions coming in on Twitter. We'll be getting to them as soon as we can, but we've got a very exciting match at hand right now. And it's as tight as can be as Ovtcharov is serving 5-4 in the 5th. Beautiful spin. Mizutani loading it up, a little extra wrist on this shot as the ball comes long. Look at that. Great brush over the ball. Too much spin. 5 points apiece. Both players inching towards the finish line.
And as the heart rates go up, it is more difficult to control the hand and serve short.
Outstanding play. Ovtcharov with an unbelievable receive, fast to the backhand, but Mizutani anticipated it and brought it right back to stay in the rally and ultimately win the point. We haven't seen the long underspin serve in a little bit. It's been effective. I'm a big fan.
6-5.
Recovering the drop shot from Ovtcharov, rushing back into the table, inside out forehand after another, covering the exact opposite corner of the table. Look at that. Fist high in the air, the statue of Japanese liberty. Jun Mizutani celebrating after the point of the match. What can you do? Ovtcharov did just about everything right. Even his drop shot was as short as could be in the middle of that rally. Crowd chanting heavily as Mizutani closing in, getting a 2-point lead. Ovtcharov with the serve. The heart rate of everybody in this arena right now is as fast as can be. Look at these hands, tears in the eyes. And a very hopeful Japan. Everybody everybody here right now pulling. 3-point lead. Still not enough to be completely comfortable. But Mizutani, focused. This point makes a huge difference.
Opting for the big slow spin there, and that's clever. Both players have been involved in some fast rallies. Mizutani's hand just too quick to that one.
Very gutsy play by Ovtcharov to change the pace like that at a time like right now. And as you said, the power favors Ovtcharov. So it takes some great willingness to sacrifice what is your biggest weapon. Very clever play from Ovtcharov. And the fast reaction, the high racket. Ovtcharov covering it, bringing it right back. And Mizutani trying to play the short corner. It is now a 1-point game. And now there is a timeout called. Looks like it's going to be Mizutani. All the Japanese team on their feet. Ovtcharov, the last one to get to his coach, Georg Roskov. Lots of experience in his corner. So Gavin, we've got one more serve for Jun Mizutani. You know my favorite serve. What do you think is the plan he's going to get from his coach right now?
Adam, you've been screaming for a long serve, I think, from the second set. But I think what he will do is probably just serve a little short, dead serve into the middle. He knows what he's going to get back there. The ball sort of down the middle of the table again, so then he can start the rally in his terms. That might be the best way. No point in overcomplicating things at this stage.
And also, as you said, with the heart rate going up, the hand gets shaky. A ball with no spin. A lot of people are going to have trouble. They're going to pop it up, and it's going to earn a nice third ball attack. Swedish tactic. Waldner did it all the time late in game 5. What a backhand right off the bounce. Amazing angle and pace. Even with the fast feet of Mizutani, no way to recover this ball. Look how early he got that right off the bounce. So the timeout diffused. Ovtcharov tying it up at 8-all. What a block! The soft, short ball and a big forehand by Ovtcharov over the table. But Mizutani, firm like a wall. Look at that block, fast and flat, deep to the backhand behind Ovtcharov. Really taking that power against him. If you're Ovtcharov, now, I mean, you did everything right. And again, the soft shot over the table. This time, Ovtcharov not able to spin it on, and it is 2 match points for Jun Mizutani.
He was panicking there because the first point in that sequence was so good from Mizutani. He thought he needed to launch that forehand even harder.
Absolutely, such strong play by Mizutani that it affected the psychology of his opponent all the way through the next point. Those balls both look like balls where the point should be over, but that's an intimidating block to come back. Match point for Mizutani. And he takes it! Down to the ground, the crowd loves it! Over to his team this